you're a conservative and you're proud of it. There's no way that you would ever vote for a Democrat. There's no way that you would ever give support to the left-leaning progressives with their big government spending and massive handouts and social programs. No, it ain't going to happen. The problem you have is deep inside, you've always known there's something wrong with Donald Trump. Yeah, but you're not going to let the Democrats use that as their excuse to wedge their way into power. So I want to talk to you because the next 2 weeks and what you do 2 weeks from now is pretty important. Might be the most important decision you make in your lifetime. So I just want you to give me 5, maybe 10 minutes of your time so we can talk about it, examine what's going on, and explore your options. So, what's wrong with Donald Trump? Where do I begin? First of all, the man is a serial liar. I don't need to argue that or try to present proof or evidence. You just have to listen to him on a daily basis, and it's obvious. Truth is not a good companion of Donald Trump. Secondly, this man is combative. We live in a pretty polarized society, but we've all learned it's important if you want to get change made to listen to or at least consider some of the thoughts of the other side. You just can't have it it just doesn't work any other way. But Donald Trump just pours gasoline on the fire of divisiveness on a daily, maybe even hourly basis. So, when Trump first appeared in the scene, I saw a clip, and I know you've all seen this clip before. I mean, it's so common it's become a cliche. It's Donald Trump humiliating a reporter with a disability.
Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Maybe that's what I said.
I mean, when I saw that, I thought, that's it. There's no way anybody can stand as a candidate for president who has said and done that in public on camera. But little did I realize or know that that was the first of dozens, maybe hundreds of examples of outrageous, even disgusting things that he was going to do and continues to do all the time. A lot of people look by that. Yeah, that's Trump. It's horrible, maybe even disgusting. But we need his policies. We need his leadership. America was better under Trump. The economy was thriving. We can't let the Democrats back in power. It will destroy the country. That's what they say, but that doesn't measure up to reality. Now, that's largely a matter of perception and ignores some of the facts surrounding the circumstances. When Trump got elected, he inherited a very strong economy, a recovering economy from Barack Obama. All indices were moving up. Everything was moving forward. It was a healthy, strong, growing economy. And Trump reaped those benefits at the beginning of his term. Then along came COVID, and frankly, everything went to shit. So the next thing is people are always saying that since Trump left office, the economy's fallen apart. Yeah, the economy has not done well under Joe Biden. But once again, looking at the reality of it, America, the United States, is doing better than any country in the world. Many of the problems that we've had in the past 4 years have been global, not American-based, not caused by the U.S. administration, but rather caused by global economic factors. Inflation. We have inflation. Well, if you've ever studied economics, you know that inflation, not price increase, but inflation, is a result of government overspending. And during the COVID epidemic, billions and billions of dollars were spent and given away to help the economy survive the pandemic. So that had to be flushed out of the system. And yeah, it flushed itself through in a pretty high rate of inflation for a number of years after that. But I'm not even going to argue that with you. I just think we should look at Trump's promises and the campaign proposals he's made what he has in mind for the American economy moving forward. You're going to find these are not conservative measures at all. As a matter of fact, a case could be made. Trump is proposing policies that are more socialist than the most progressive of the Democratic left. Now, to start with, here's a chart that was released by the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. It shows the cost or the estimated cost of campaign promises made by the two leading candidates. When you look at it, they're talking about the high amount it might be, the mid amount, and the lowest it can be. In almost all cases, Trump's proposals are double that of what Kamala Harris's proposals are. He's talking about adding $15 trillion to the American debt. A cornerstone of conservative economic policy is maintaining a balanced budget and avoiding excess deficit spending. This flies in the face of that. If you're looking for a conservative to support economically, this is not the one.
And while working Americans catch up, we're going to put a temporary cap on credit card interest rates at 10%. We have no choice. They're getting 22, 25%. We can't let people have to pay 25% and 22% interest because they can't afford to pay off their credit card. We're going to cap it for a period of time at 10%. We will.
Now, look, I'm not even saying that's a bad policy. The banks and the credit card companies get no sympathy from me whatsoever. That said, this is a dramatic deviation in economic policy that would impact banks, the entire financial system, the economy in pretty dramatic ways. To hear something like that proposed by a presidential candidate, by a Republican presidential candidate, is heresy. It's just never been done before. Republicans tend to stand for pro-business, free market policies, not limiting banks and the amount of credit they can charge. That's just outrageous from their point of view. Last time we heard something like this, interestingly enough, was back in 2019, when an idea was floated and proposed and actually legislation put on the floor of Congress by Bernie Sanders and Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, basically proposing to limit credit card interest to 15%. Even they didn't go to 10, they had it at 15. And generally speaking, they're considered as left-wing as you get in the Democratic Party. And please, don't get me started about the central thrust of Donald Trump's re-election campaign, tariffs. He's adamant that he is going to make America rich again by imposing draconian tariffs on all kinds of imported products. It's insane. He knows nothing about what he's talking about. Those tariffs would amount to the largest tax increase in American history, and they will be paid by the consumers, not by the foreign countries. And what's going to happen is everything that's imported is going to become far more expensive. That car that you would have bought now for $30,000 is going to be $60,000 or $80,000 or $90,000 after Trump imposes those tariffs. Same with all the small goods and services. Amazon's going to be gone. Walmart's going to be gone. You're not going to be able to buy any imported products without paying 50% to double the price. So the reality of it is Trump does not represent conservative economic values in any way, shape, or form. And if you're either a hard-nosed businessman who's learned through the school of hard knocks and built his business successfully, or a hotshot young person with their business degrees trying to make a mark on the world, this is not the kind of policies you want to see implemented. And that, my friend, brings us around full circle to the conservative dilemma of 2024. What do you do about it? Number one, what you don't do about it is you don't do business as usual, run off the polls, rah, 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 I'm voting for Donald Trump. All you're doing then is you're voting for higher prices, mass unemployment, economic confusion, denying all conservative economic principles and policies that you know and believe in, aside from any real or perceived threats to our way of life and democracy. So you've got to figure out how to handle this. There are a lot of very well-known conservatives, many of whom have served with Donald Trump in his cabinet, from his vice president to his closest advisors to military generals and chiefs of staff, who are telling people they are actually going to go and vote for Kamala Harris because they do not want to see Donald Trump in office again. Now, you may or may not be able to do that. And if you can't, I have one suggestion for you. Withhold your vote from Donald Trump. Don't vote. This is not a matter of not living up to your responsibility as a citizen. This is a matter of making a reasoned decision to say, I will not support the madness that is Donald Trump. Now, I know that may sound extreme, but I ask you to very seriously give that thought and give that consideration. I really hope that Kamala Harris is elected, and I genuinely hope that she's a great president. But you know, even if the critics are right and she isn't a great president, so what? You've saved your country nonetheless. America can survive a bad presidency. It's done so several times in the past, but there's serious doubt whether it could survive another presidency of Donald Trump. Thank you for giving me your time and watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and please subscribe to the channel. And here's a suggestion of another video you can see of my content. Thanks a lot again, and please have a great week.